I thought it was about time to post an update video on my Prusa 3D printer from HIC Technology. I have, as you can see, made a lot of modifications to it. Some of these were modifications I needed to do, some of them were modifications that I just wanted to do. One of the biggest problems I had with the printer from the get-go was that I was constantly having to re-level it, and just no matter what I did, it would constantly become unlevel. So one of my first modifications was to install an aluminum Y-axis, which you can see there, replacing the acrylic one, because as it gets hot it deforms and bends and causes problems. Not long after replacing that, I realized that I was allowing the printer to move around on the table, so I made these large these aluminum brackets you can see in the front here, and I bolted it down to a piece of birch plywood. This was a 4 foot by 2 foot piece, 3/4 inch thick birch plywood, and I found the flattest piece that I could possibly find, and then I cut it in half, put the two halves together and screwed and glued them down together, and then used the aluminum brackets to actually mount the printer down to the board. Once I did that with the aluminum Y-axis, Y-carriage, it made a world of difference, and I was no longer having to constantly re-level the bed. Since then, I've done a bunch of modifications, as you can see. Most obvious one is this plexiglass enclosure here. I've also done an upgrade to a E3D V6 hot end and convert it to a Bowden setup, which you can see the 3D printed parts that I use for the X carriage and for the mount, and then the motor, which is mounted on the back arm there with the tube going over top. My latest upgrade was the silicone heating pad bed, which is just great. Heats up really fast. I had to upgrade my power supply as well, but I mean, it went from taking about 30 minutes, 30 minutes to get to 90 degrees Celsius to about 3 minutes to get to 90 degrees Celsius. So it's a huge time saver. It really heats up quick. Back to the enclosure. The enclosure's got a filtration system in the back, and this was something I found off Thingiverse. It actually uses a little Orion fan and a cartridge from a respirator, and what it does is it pulls all the air through there. I print a lot with ABS, and I started worrying about all the stuff you can read out there about ABS fumes and their potential hazards, and ultrafine particles, which are called UFPs. So I installed a filtration system. So now when I print with ABS, I don't have there's no smell. It filters out most of the particles from what I understand. So working really good. The front and side panels here are held on with the rare earth magnets from Home Depot. So I can lift those off. I can do whatever I need to do, and then put them back on. Right now, I am actually printing in Tallman's T-Glaze, which is some cool stuff. I tried printing with it when I first got it a month or two ago and had some trouble. Realized I needed a higher bed temp. Started printing the other night with it and had really good success. This was my latest print, which turned out just about perfect. It's a little candy bowl that I'm making for my grandmother, and actually that's what I'm printing right now. Is I'm printing another one for my mother. So yeah, there's an update. Obviously, I've done a bunch of modifications to mine, and I'm happy with it now, but as is, I would have to say, don't get this printer. Look for a kit that has either an all metal frame or even the Maker Farm with the wooden frame. I kind of like the wooden frame, and I like Maker Farm's their V-slot rails that they use. So if you're going to get a 3D printer, don't get this one. Get the Maker Farm kit or get an all-metal kit, and you'll be able to avoid a lot of problems that I've had to deal with to get this thing going. So anyway, that's it for an update on the printer. I'm going to get back to printing. If you have any questions, just let me know and I'll try and answer them. Thanks.